Hey guys, I just wanted to show off my cold air intake. This is a '02 Z71 Tahoe. If you're looking to buy a cold air intake for one of these cars, one of these years, you'll notice there's not a lot of options. There's like the K&N one that costs something dumb like $250 or $300, where they're just completely ripping you off, and that's basically it. So what I did was pretty much made my own. What you want to do is get on eBay and buy just type in Tahoe '02 cold air intake, and you'll see a bunch of really cheap Chinese ones coming up, and just buy the cheapest Chinese one you can. And pretty much all you're going to do is use this piece of metal. So I forget what I paid for it. It was about a year ago. You'll see it's a little bit beat up from me working on the car. It was probably like 50 bucks. I don't know, but just buy the cheapest one you can. You want to be really careful though, because you'll notice that there's a lot of them on there that don't fit your car. You'll type in '02 Tahoe, but a lot of them aren't for an '02 Tahoe. So the main thing you need to do is look at the pictures, and what you want to do is just find one that looks exactly like this, and get that one. There'll be different names, they'll be called different things, like the sports one and this, and they're titled differently from different companies, but they're all made in the same place. So they're all made from the same factory in China, but companies put their own name on it. So if you buy one like I'm telling you to now, you're going to have the same one as I do probably. So what you want to do is get it. And what I noticed immediately was this was just a straight coupling from the kit, and it fit really loose here. So I got a reducer on eBay. This is just a silicone like turbo hose reducer from 4" to 3.5", and it works perfectly. You're also going to use this piece right here that the air filter clamps onto, in between the mass airflow and the air filter. It's just pretty much like a plastic spacer, but it's cheap, but it actually works really good. And then you want to throw the air filter away immediately because it's junk. That's the big problem with those kits, is it has like a $5 air filter. So what I did was I got this AEM. I used to use K&Ns for many years, last 20 years, but I'm kind of getting away from that and going to dry filters. So this is my first one actually. So what you want to do is, this is a 6" diameter. So just make sure it has a 6" diameter. This one's 8 inches long and fits perfectly, almost too perfectly. Like I have to almost like wiggle it out whenever I take it off. The part number from AEM is 21-2100BF. There's also one that ends with DK. I did some research, tried to figure out what the difference is, and there's basically not a difference. So just buy whichever one's cheaper. Last thing you want to do is you want to throw the worm gear clamps, just those standard clamps you see at Home Depot that come with it, in the trash, and get these T-clamps, because if you use those, they're going to start biting into this whenever you take them on and off, because of the way they're designed. The excess part of it goes straight like into this silicone and starts damaging it. I actually damaged this up pretty good because I didn't do it immediately. I needed to work on the car a few times and get this out of the way. So there's some nice little indents in here. It's probably more likely to happen here because this is really cheap silicone compared to, this isn't great quality, but it's a lot better than this. I mean, you can see the plies, like there's pretty much no plies here, and then you can see this is like heavy duty. But anyway, so get these T-clamps. These are 4" T-clamps. These three, and this one is a 3.5. You'll see when you look for them on eBay that they're also stainless, that they're usually in millimeters, which makes things very difficult. I'm not sure what this comes to in millimeters. This one is 95 to 103 millimeters. These were actually just labeled 4", but you can do some research, and whatever comes out to 4" is what you need. I actually had to do a little trial and error with these. I bought the wrong ones to start with. The problem is there's not very much, there's not a lot of room for adjustment. Like they have to be very, very close, unlike a worm gear clamp where it can just be any of them and it'll fit perfectly. You have to get almost the exact size for this to work. So lastly, when you put these on, don't crank on them too hard. It's not a turbo application. This isn't going to be wanting to pop off every time you turn the car on. So you can way over torque these with a ratchet or a wrench without even knowing it. Unlike a worm clamp, what I did was I pretty much just started torquing it until you see it started looking kind of flush here. Like this is almost like bent in just a little bit, and that's where I stopped. And it works good. Like I even tried like pulling it out just to make sure, and I don't think it's going to pop off. But just do not over tighten these because you're gonna start digging into the silicone. It's really easy to do with a ratchet. So this one you can just use a worm gear clamp because it's just this rubber to this plastic. Like, you're not using silicone. You can put a T-clamp on it, but if you over tighten that just a little bit, you're probably gonna crack this piece in half. So I wouldn't even worry about it. So that's that. Probably costs, like I said, probably $100 bill to do it all, and probably less than an hour install. So it's a piece of cake. Yeah, hopefully I saved you some money.